Coming to you from bedrooms around the world, this is Komedia Live's Krater Comedy Club. And here is your host for the evening, Stephen Grant.
Hello, it's me, Stephen Grant, the host of Krater Live here at youtube.com/Komedia Live. How are you? Are you well? It looks like I'm just asking a screen. Well, I am asking a screen, but this bit's interactive because hopefully you're on YouTube right now and you can add to the comments. So it's me, I'm back. It's another Friday night. It's 8:30, unless you're watching this and catch up as a best part of 2,500 of you do, in which case, hi guys, it's whatever time it is where you are right now, unless you're watching it Friday at 8:30 and you're in a different time zone, in which case, clever you, you've reenacted the British experience with the exception of like kind of lockdown and stuff like that, assuming you're in New Zealand or something and you're still now dancing in the street because you had lockdown a lot earlier. Anyway, hello and welcome along to a special VE Day special. Well, it just coincided with tonight. And also I've been told at 9 o'clock there will be a special clap tonight. Yes, I'm not entirely sure what that's about. We'll talk about that in a moment. But yes, it's VE Day, isn't it, as well? I mean, it's victory in Europe, though for some people it's victory for Europe. And other people it's victory against Europe. Hey, Europe, hey, oh, they're the enemy. Well, they're not really. They're our friends, but how quick we forget. But it's been good. I've been walking around my local village. I went down to the shops and I saw loads of old people out bunting everywhere. And it's kind of exciting, isn't it? Because you get to see Union flags without the fear of an imminent racist attack, isn't it? It's Union flags for a good reason, like good Union Jacks. That's what we like to see. And the old people in especially good mood because it was sunny and, you know, they had a day off as opposed to all the other days. And I suppose there's a kind of like a big grin on the face because it's a fuck you to COVID, isn't it? I'm still alive. Come and take me. That's the look on their faces anyway. And yes, I do believe at 9 o'clock today there might be another clap. It might be a clap for Boris though, so you might want to skip that. Or maybe you can do that on catch up. Just clap in your own time. It doesn't have to be live. And in many ways, it's become a bit of a clapping power struggle where I live in mid-Sussex. People are going out to clap even louder. I was just using hands at first, but people have got saucepans now and sticks and stuff. And that's effectively doping. I don't consider that to be particularly fair. And in many ways, the NHS absolutely worthy of our applause, but, clapping other people, I'm not entirely sure. Like Boris, well done, Boris. I'm not entirely sure whether Boris, I mean, even if you're pro Boris, he's effectively just doing his job. And in many ways, he had about 2 weeks off sick leave, came back for a day and he's back on paternity leave. So, well done for a day's work, Boris. At the end of my road, we've got an overweight, elderly Asian bloke who's got asthma. I mean, we applaud him every day just for being alive. Fucking well done, Sanjay. Come on, Boris. Pull out your A game. Sanjay is still breathing, eh? Living the dream. So anyway, hello. This is Stephen Grant. I've said this already. And the important thing you need to know is Krater Live is recreating that live stand-up comedy feel, which means we are going to say rude words and use rude topics and stuff like that. So if you're the kind of person who loves comedy on the internet but didn't really like it in a live stand-up comedy environment, then it might be a bit of a rocky ride coming up in the next sort of 40-50 minutes or so. However, if you're a huge fan of live stand-up comedy and you miss it dearly, in which case, oh my God, I absolutely share your pain right now, especially considering for me it's very much an income as well, and then you are in for a treat because we have a fabulous lineup coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 acts who will be gracing our stage. Or stage will be realistically where you've actually positioned your screen right now, and you get to interact because myself and I think 3 of the acts are live. We have unseen clips from the Komedia archives and special clips sent in. Look, you know what? If you've seen these already, you know what you've got in store tonight. And also your donations make a huge difference. It allows us to come back the following week. PayPal.me/KraterLive. Anyway, I will not overstress that. I will make sure that you guys are having fun tonight. Please do get in touch with the show. Send us a little message. Or if you're watching on your smart TV right now, and some of you are, a lot of you send in photos and put it on Twitter to show me, mostly showing off how you've got a 50-inch TV and you leave a little glass of wine in front of it as well, going, oh, it's a lot easier getting drinks at the bar than it is at Komedia. Yeah, that's right, because you're in your own home. That's how it works. Though if you want to kind of queue for 20 minutes and then make your own nachos to recreate the Komedia experience, and it's not always 20 minutes, by the way, it's often 2 or 3 minutes, only 20 minutes if you've got a particularly tricky order, then the key thing to do is to send that on Twitter with the hashtag Krater Live, and then I get a chance to see that. So there's 2 ways you can interact with the show. Anyway, I'm going to push on with things. Simple house rules. I'll do whatever you like. You're in your own house for once, and I will come back to you shortly. But first and foremost, a round of applause as best you can for the first act. We won't be able to hear you, but in many ways, that's the same as the applause you do pretty much every week for the fabulous Carl Donnelly.
Hooray! It's good to be here. My name's Carl. Indoor hat wearer, Bradley. It's good, isn't it? Bald. It's getting there. It's fucked, isn't it, man? I've started having to wear hats indoors. Because when you walk in, basically I've sort of had to shave it really short because I've been balding. It's fucking brutal, man. You walk, everyone just knows you're bald, isn't it? If you wear a hat, you walk into a room, everyone's like, he's either a bald or a twat. At least you get options, innit? It's well boring going. Like, white bald blokes, I think, we're the most boring looking fucking people on earth, man. That's why I accessorise and add shit to trying to solicit a response, you know what I mean? Basically, if you're a bald white bloke, this is how you look, right? Do you know when you're like got a computer game and you've got to design a character, yeah? Do you know the first bit? Like, before you add any shit to it, there's just a fucking outline standing there like that. It's rubbish, man. You met in Australia, was that what I heard? I met my wife in Australia. It's cool, it's lovely down there. I tell you what, I had a funny, I met somebody in Australia who had, I think, the worst first impressions of me I've ever experienced. Because again, that's another thing, being bald and white. Like, you don't really get negative, like everyone just looks at you and goes, oh, you're just a thing, innit? I don't really have a judgment yet. And so it's quite nice, you can sort of coast through life a bit. I met somebody in Australia who genuinely just took one look at me. I don't know what she thought I was going to do, man. But it was on the East Coast. I was travelling around with some Australian comedians, and we were going to be in Brisbane the day after. The tour manager was like, who wants to go to the zoo tomorrow? And I had to be the prick, right? I was like, I don't actually go to zoos. I'm a vegan. Yep. That's true, don't judge me, right? I didn't even mean to go vegan, it was a fucking accident. About 7 years ago, I was going through a rough time in my life, and my mate's a hippie, right? And he said to me, mate, I've heard you're depressed. I was like, thanks for bringing it up. And he gave me a little thing for depression, which he said, this will help. And it was a little bag of powder. He said, smoke that, mate, it's great. And I smoked it thinking it would cheer me up. It turned out to be the most hallucinogenic substance on earth. It's called DMT. Yeah, I smoked it, and now I can't have sausages anymore. It's a true story. I passed out and woke up vegan, mate. That's not fair. It just changed something inside me. I've literally had to be vegan since. And now I sort of agree with it, but at the time I was livid, man, honestly. So anyway, I said to everyone, like, I can't go to the zoo, man. I just can't do it. And I was like, you lot go. I'm not judging anyone. It's sort of your own thing, innit? And then the tour manager was like, that's not a proper zoo. It's the Australia Zoo. I went, I don't know what that means. You've just added a country name in front of the word zoo. And she went, it's the one Steve Irwin set up. I didn't know this. Steve Irwin, before he was murdered by a stingray... Let's use that word, shall we? He opened a zoo with his family, right? And I thought that guy loved animals, innit? It's going to be like a flicking, you'll just be able to run free with all the creatures. Got there the next day, it's a zoo, man. That guy was lying. So I was outside it and I was like, oh shit. I said to everyone, look, man, I'm sorry to be the prick, but I'm not going in. Like, you lot go in. Just sort of, I'm just going to wait outside. It's a lovely sunny day. I'll just sort of, I was about to say catch some rays. That would have been a wicked pun. Fuck! I should have just said it rather than celebrate. Bad form at comedy there, rather than say a joke that you just made up in your head to then tell you, fuck, guess what I've just made up? You're not going to believe this! But I said to everyone, go in, man, it's cool, I'm just going to wait outside. I'll just, sunbathe in it for a couple of hours. And then the manager of the zoo came out. This wasn't the woman who hated me, by the way. This woman was actually just the cleverest person I've ever met. She played me like a fiddle. She walked up and went, what seems to be the problem? I went, well, I was told this place wasn't a zoo, and I've got it. It is a zoo. That's not a problem. It's not your problem. It's just I don't really go to zoos, so I'm going to sit it out. She didn't address a single word I said, right? The whole time she's just looking me up and down, and then she just went, do you want to hold a koala? How clever is that, mate? That's like they get one vegan a week shop and go, I'm not coming in here. And they're like, okay, get the koala out. So she said, do you want to hold a koala? And I involuntarily went, yes! Because you can't say no to that. So I went into the zoo and I checked my moral compass into the cloakroom. I went in, I got to hold a koala, mate. 4 of us are holding koalas. They're the cutest things I've ever seen. Did you hold a koala when you were there? Fuck, man, you got to go back. Honestly, it's a cute. I've not got kids, right? This is the most paternal I'd ever felt. I'm there just with this thing that's so cute, and we're all standing about 2 meters like between us. I think they have to space them out or something. I think they're quite aggressive to each other, koalas. So I'm there holding it, and the handler was just checking everyone's holding it right and just watching us. And then she just sort of stopped on me and made a real beeline towards me, like with purpose, and told me such a funny fact that I don't know if anyone knows this, right? She came up and went, "Excuse me, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of koalas have chlamydia." Apparently they're one of the other animals that can get chlamydia, right? I didn't know that, so I'm holding my koala and I went, "Fuck, I didn't know that. That's really interesting." I went, "Thanks, that's funny, innit?" And I thought it was a funny fact. She'd tell me and then go down the line and tell everyone the fucking chlamydia fact. No, what actually happens was she walked up and just told me it and then just left. So I'm standing there holding the koala like going, "What the fuck did she think I was going to do, mate?" Have you ever met anyone who took one look at you and went, "You're going to fuck the koala, innit, mate?" I could see it in your dirty eyes.
The brilliant Carl Donnelly there, and Carl Donnelly's on social media, and go follow him. He's excellent, and obviously come and see him when he comes back to Komedia, both the Brighton and the Bath venues. We're more than happy to see you there. Though I know we broadcast all across the globe, so for some of you that will be a bit of a round trip. And there's an outside chance that coming into the UK there might be some kind of quarantine in our post-COVID society. Obviously that's a joke. It's Britain; they'll let you straight in, but you'll have to go into quarantine when you go back home again. So you might want to stick for more than a weekend. So I'm getting some fabulous comments through on the YouTube. Look at that. That's me with a delay. Look at this. It's me showing you me on YouTube over YouTube. Oh, I'm so meta. And I'm looking at some of the messages here. Someone saying, "Say Hassocks." All right, Hassocks, that's where I live. Thanks very much, Jack. Then Frank Green is saying, "This is brilliant. Thank you very much." And then Mandy and Kelly watching in Burgess Hill. Again, these are people who are very local to me. I honestly feel as if I shout loud enough, they don't really need the internet in order to catch me. Some other people, Philip Lewis says, "Big up to Worthing," which is the closest Worthing's getting to an actual big up as well. Who else? There's a few other people. Stephen, can you say happy birthday to my wife, Sarah? So she's an Sara. Is she a Sarah or a Sarah? It's difficult. You didn't put down a phonetic pronunciation there, but you've got the same surname as me, actually. So had I married Sarah, she would have had that same name, Darren. But obviously, I'm not suggesting that. I'm suggesting that she should have a happy birthday, not that she should enter into an ultimately unfulfilling relationship with me because she loves you, Darren. That's the key thing. So those are the messages that are coming off on the YouTube. And then on top of that, we are getting message on the Twitter as well. Thank you very much. Red Optimist is doing exactly what I said, is showing off their incredibly large television on the edge of their lounge. Well done. If you want to do some TV boasting, hashtag Krater Live, and then hashtag TV boasting. Show us the size of the screen that you're looking on right now. And he still did the picture in portrait. So as if to say, look how good the wall is behind it as well. And then Ribena Louise. I love Twitter names. Oh, is my name gone? Of course it's gone. It's been around for ages and you've only just joined. It's saying, "Spending my last evening off before I become a slave to my dissertation watching Krater Live." Oh, I do forget the fact that people's dissertations continue. Good luck, Louise, with your dissertation, and well done for including us as part of your procrastination. If you want to tell your friends, by the way, we're still live for a good 40 minutes or so, maybe even a little bit less, I'm not entirely sure, but then you can do so. Tell them youtube.com/Komedia Live. That's the place to come and watch Krater Live as it happens right now in front of you. And then you can donate paypal.me/Krater Live. Okay, one of the things we do is we have unseen footage like we saw with Carl there as well from our Brighton Komedia venue, but we also go live to other people around the UK, great acts, well, actually all around the globe, as you will find out later on today. But extending what would be an extraordinarily long cable length, but ultimately a doable cable length, we head down towards Brighton, I believe, right now, where Mr. George Egg is waiting. George, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can, George. Look at that, and there you are. Is this at your kitchen, George?
Yeah, this is my kitchen. I'm into my cooking, hence the big cooker over there.
Fabulous. Look at that. Well, look, I will leave you in your kitchen. Shall I give you a proper kind of showbiz sort of welcome so you feel like you're involved?
I'm quite happy to just slip into it now and talk about taking my temperature.
Right. Okay. Well, this does sound like the kind of thing that happens in the sort of live link up where you have to pay before you make the actual connection. But it's slipping in and taking his temperature. Please welcome to the stage, or at least the screen now, handing over the fabulous George Egg.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are in the middle of this pandemic crisis. It's very important that you take your temperature. Now, as I just said to Stephen, I'm into cooking, hence the rather deluxe frankly, kitchen behind me. I don't have a thermometer. Well, I do have a thermometer. The only thermometer I've got, being into cooking, is one of these ones that you use for testing the temperature of meat. The way it works is you turn it on like this, and then you plunge it deep into the thickest part of the flesh to get the temperature. Between you and me, ladies and gentlemen, it creates more problems than it solves, but let's not worry about that. It's just a scratch. All right, I'm into cooking, as I say. I'm into barbecues, and that's something that we're all doing an awful lot of at the moment, is having barbecues, because we've got the opportunity to do so. If you do have barbecues, be very careful. Last weekend, we were having a barbecue in the garden, tremendously hot day. So to be on the safe side, I was applying sunblock, but out of an atomizer bottle. You know, you can get your little spray bottles of that. I was spraying it carelessly like this. The mist went over my shoulder and it landed on the sausages that I was about to barbecue, and they took a lot longer to cook. Okay, we're live. We're being recorded. This is the ideal opportunity to use this prop that I've got here. What I'm going to do, basically, what's going to happen is you're going to take a note of the time code of where we are at this point in the proceedings. You're going to remember that, and you're going to direct friends to that time code later on when you recommend the show and you send them over to it. I'm going to put this in the middle of the screen like that. I'm going to talk normal pace, normal volume, nothing weird, but I'm going to suddenly stop mid-sentence. And so then I'm going to carry on talking. And what I need you to do, I need you to send your friends to that point, all right? Especially friends who recently had expensive fiber optic broadband installed. They'll think it's, won't they? All right, good. That's pandemic trick prank number one. This is number two. This is the best one. This is for people who've got cats, and ideally people who've got litter trays in their house for their cats. The litter where the cat. Okay, what you need to do is on your allotted shopping trip where you get your essentials, amongst your essentials, you need to purchase some of this. All right, that is Soreen malt loaf. Okay, it's about 60 pence a brick in Asda at the moment. Very good value. Incidentally, I always thought that malt loaf would be a very good name for a meatloaf tribute band. I'd watch them. What you do, you go into, when everyone's out, okay, when they're doing their daily exercise, you pop into the room where the cat litter tray is, you open up the malt loaf, all right, it looks like that, it's nice, it's fruity, it's low calorie, it's good stuff, and you pinch off, carefully pinch off 3 clumps. 1, 2, 3. They want to be a similar size, not exactly the same size, but close enough, and then you warm them up between the fingertips like this, roll them between the palms, so you're making 3 little spheres of the malt loaf, 3 little spheres. Some of you, I'm well aware that some of you watching this are ahead of me, but I'm going to do this anyway. Then what you do is you take the three spheres and you press them together in a line like the carriages of a train. I'll do it behind my back until it's ready. And you can make, brace yourselves, an incredibly realistic cat poo. Look at that, isn't that brilliant? Look, the colour's right, the finish. Look how my angle poise light dances off the surface, look. And if you can, and if you pinch the end like that, look, you can make it look like it's been nipped off. Nipped off by an anus. You know what I'm talking about. Don't pretend you don't. Anyway, then what you do is you go over to where the litter tray is, and everyone's out, remember that, and you put it next to the litter tray. I'll put it over here, like that. That goes there. That's it. That's all the preparation done. Here's the trick. Here's the prank. You come back later on with your friend, your victim, all right? Your mark, all right? Your flatmate, your family member, and you notice it on the floor next to the litter tray, and you say, "Oh no, he's missed. Oh, how embarrassing! Isn't that awful?" And you look around for something to pick it up with, like a bit of tissue or a plastic bag or something like that, which you haven't got. So you go over to it like this, gingerly. You bend down, you pick it up with your hand like that. And I know a lot of you are thinking he's not going to eat it, is he? And you'd be absolutely right. I'm not going to eat it. I'll tell you what, it'd be too disgusting and therefore too obvious. They'd instantly know it was a trick. So what you do is you go over to the bin with it like this. You drop it in the bin, and when you've done that, you just. Very important, before I leave you, please make sure it's the same one you put there earlier. Don't want to make that mistake again. Had to have therapy. Folks, stay safe. Enjoy the rest of the lockdown, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.
George Egg, ladies and gentlemen, George Egg, everyone, a little applause, please. And George, thank you very much for joining us. And I have got massive kitchen envy, especially the level to which your stainless steel is cleaned. Do you genuinely clean that after every cooking? Stainless steel's a bugger to keep clean.
If I were to bring my camera over and put it close there, you would be appalled. Gordon Ramsay would, frankly, Stephen, I don't want to swear too much here, but I think he'd tear a strip off me.
Would he? Well, you can swear if you like it. That is that kind of show. The thing about it is that I've seen some of your cooking stuff online. I'm pretty certain you're not knocking out a pot noodle there. So that is a pot noodle free zone.
No, I'm not. There's no, hold on. I mean, I'll just show you an example of some of the stuff I've got in here. I mean, oh God,
Look at that larder.
Oh Christ, oh blimey, oh God.
Right, okay then. He does have a pot noodle. That was Mr. George Egg there. And by the way, I believe you actually have a special pot noodle trick. Is that right? Which you can...
A pot noodle hack, yeah.
Yeah, a pot noodle hack. Do you want to tell us your pot noodle hack?
Bombay Bad Boy. Big dollop of peanut butter. If you have it to hand, a bit of fresh coriander or a bit of mint, mix that in. Most beautiful satay gourmet. Oh, superb.
I'm definitely going to try that. And anybody else who wants to try it, feel free to let us know. And George, you're on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle, George?
It is @GeorgeEgg. And also my Instagram as well, which has got a lot of nice food.
Oh yes, because you're cooking and people need visuals for cooking, isn't it? Having descriptions on Twitter is not good enough, people, is it? Right, George, thank you very much for joining us. If you enjoyed George, then please do donate paypal.me/CraterLive. Thank you very much. Still more messages coming in, which is fabulous. Got some television envy going on here. Sam Spencer, thank you for your picture. Steve Gallagher, as well as holding up a pint in front of my face, which is making me feel ever so thirsty. Linda, there you go, laughed already, and she's got her feet up, and she's got little red fairy lights around the screen, so it looks like she's actually at Komedia. She's done a brilliant job. Abby Radford as well. Wish we should hear in real life, but this will have to do for tonight. Thank you very much, Abby, as well. And Abby Rose, look at that. The Abbies are attacking right now. You're looking younger every week, Stephen, but that's because I believe the brightness is too high on your television. And then followed by #massive TV boast. She has a massive television. Well done there, Abby. Also on the YouTube comments right now, I'm getting a variety of different messages from people. People saying hello. Emma Cooper, it's her birthday. Hey, Emma. I think you're my friend, Emma, as well. Hi, Emma. Good to see you as well. Billy Ross is calling from Port Slade. They've got internet in Port Slade. It's so exciting. Next, running water, electricity, and civility. And then who else? Oh, Shannon is saying big up from Mandy, Sam, and Shannon from Worthing. Okay, Worthing, massive, very much in the house. And Gav Walker says hello from Crawley. I know, Crawley. Look at that then. And Crawley, by the way, people take the piss out of Crawley. I won't take the piss out of Crawley. Crawley's very important to me. If you're a Brightonian like me, Crawley's so important because what it does is it sits at the top of the A23. Airports just to annoy some of you who don't like them. It just sits at the top of the A23, and what it does is it acts like a smorgasbord of the rest of Britain so that Brightonians can know what the rest of the UK is like. Because sometimes you might just be bored and think, oh, I'm just going to head up the rest of the country. I can't be fussed with Brighton anymore. And you'll get there and Crawley go, look, before you get on the motorway, why don't you just nip in, have a look around and see what the rest of Britain's like. And then literally within 10 minutes or so, you're like, oh my God, it's shit. And you're back down the A23. And that is the reason why Crawley's there, by the way. It is strategically positioned because it's there, right, to leave quickly. That is the reason why when you go up towards Crawley, it's the A23, and then it becomes the M23, so you can leave quicker. This is the reason you've ever been on the train from Brighton to London. You notice it's 2 lines all the way to 3 bridges, and then it gets to 3 bridges and becomes 4 lines. That's why you can overtake trains and it goes quicker, and you've got the Gatwick Express because you can leave Crawley quicker. It's genuinely the reason why they built Gatwick Airport, because the trains and the motorways were not quick enough ways to leave Crawley. Anyway, assuming you're not from Crawley, you might want to donate. paypal.me/CraterLive. And our next act is from Crawley. One of my favourite up-and-coming acts from the UK comedy scene. This was filmed live and I believe at our Brighton venue. Might be a Boffin. I think it's our Brighton venue. This is the brilliant Dinesh Nathan.
What's happening? How are we doing? You all right? Good, good. My name's Dinesh. And I'll tell you what I love about my name, right? People think it's my nationality. I'm like, all right, I'm Dinesh. Danish. Do I look Danish? And what kind of nutter would introduce themselves by their nationality? The only time I've had to do that, right, is when someone goes to me, where are you from? And I go, I'm British. And they go, no. Where you from? Oh, this. This is just one massive birthmark. Do you know what? Worse still, I once got introduced to an entire office as Dennis. Dennis. And the way this happened, right, I met the manager, she gets my name wrong, she then walks me round, introducing me to each individual member of staff, and I had to go, yep, Dennis. And then one of them misheard, right, and went, Dinesh. And I'd left it so long, I had to correct him. No, it's Dennis, mate. I just wish my name was a bit more memorable, right? I thought maybe there's something in the meaning, right? So I Googled it. I was like, hey, Siri, what does the name Dinesh mean? And it said, did you mean Dennis? Getting old, man. I'm getting old. I'm getting cheap. My motto is, why spend money I think it's a valid point. I think being cheap's in my blood, right? Because my dad was one of 9 kids, right? Apparently my grandparents had loads of kids so that they could help them on the farm. How cheap is that? Why hire staff when we could make them? Could you imagine going on Dragon's Den? Deborah Needham's like, that is a fantastic idea. But how will we find the staff? Well, Debs, come here and I'll show you. My wife, right, she bought us a new kitchen bin. So I was already in a bad mood, waste of money. But it's one of these ones that opens and closes automatically. Wow. I mean, how lazy are we? Well, I've never bumped into a mate. How are you? Mate, I am knackered. I still got one of them manual bins, haven't I? And this bin don't even work properly, right? This bin is supposed to detect rubbish. My son is 5. He walks past it with a bit of his artwork. Bloody bin opens. And he starts crying. I was like, mate, that's not rubbish. That is recycling. Wrong bin, buddy. I am a qualified pilot. I don't fly for a living, mind you. You crash one plane. Doesn't particularly help when you look like me. I don't look like a pilot, do I? No? Oh, do I? No, all right. I don't think I do. Right? And I'll tell you why. I look like a cabbie. I know this because some geezer jumped in my car and gave me his address. And that's the problem with my generation, right? I'm so Asian. I look like a cabbie. Yeah, I'm so British. I couldn't say no. Drove him home. There's me at the M23. Busy night. Not really. You're my only customer. My wife was like phoning me like, where are ya? Kids have been outside the school for 45 minutes. I was like, babe, can we talk about this later? I'm with a customer. I'd be a terrible cabbie, right? Because I know nothing about cars, and my wife forgets this, right? So she had to take our car to the garage, and she said, well, what should I tell them is wrong with it? So I thought I'd play a little trick on her. I said, why don't you tell them there is something wrong with the flux capacitor? Back to the Future, flux capacitor. I don't even know what that is. Right? I thought it was hilarious. Till she came back with a bill. 450 quid. Apparently, both of them are broken. Who knew? Who knew? So now I walk to work, and I was walking to work the other day, and a dog comes running out of nowhere, barking at me, right? And the owner pulled it back by its lead and looked at me like I should be grateful. It's your dog, mate. You put me in danger. That is like me running at you with a knife. You're welcome. Crazy.
The brilliant Dinesh Nathan, and you guys are really getting in touch tonight. Last week, if you weren't watching, I changed shirts halfway through. I may pick another shirt. I don't know. I mean, actually, realistically, you have no idea what I'm wearing from the waist down, and it's been quite a hot day. Might be nothing. Might be wondering how this microphone is being held up. It's a stand. Anyway, Lottie Allen got in touch using the hashtag Krater Live, saying Abby, when she messaged earlier, forgot to mention she's watching with Rachel, Jen, Georgia, and Lottie via Zoom, which is making my head blow now because this is a show that's done via Zoom, owned to another computer, onto YouTube, using the magic and a lot of hard work from a large number of Komedia staff who've giving up a huge amount of their time to make this happen, which is incredible. And now it's then being shared again via Zoom. Oh, incredible scenes. And I was looking at them, and you all seem quite young because you're still doing Zoom things fun together. You're not curled into a ball at home. And I imagine you're going to be the first to be let out. This is the rumor going around now that because young people are the most important for the economy and also the ones who are most being affected by lockdown, but also the people who are least likely to get coronavirus or at least get very sick as a result of getting it, that you will be let out first. But of course, the key problem the government has is the government has no way of getting hold of you because you don't really read the news, and even Facebook's a little bit too old for you. So I'm assuming there'll be some sort of government sort of Snapchat that's going to go out, and one day you'll just be going for it and you'll go like cockpit, cockpit, cockpit. Oh, Boris says we can go out. Cockpit, cockpit, and that'll be effectively your morning. Anyway, that was a brilliant Dinesh Nathan. We're going on with our next act, and it's a live act. I would say probably one of our favourite headliners at the Komedia Brighton and Komedia Bath venue, and he's agreed to pay for us live. So let's head over via the magic of the internet to Mr. Phil Nichol. Hello, Phil.
Hey, hi, Stephen. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Phil.
Yeah,
Phil,
good.
you have got a strap over your shoulder, which is making me think that good times are happening. It's a guitar.
I got a
I thought
guitar.
it was some kind of bondage because you've gone into an 8-week sort of like a dark dungeon pit.
Yes,
Excellent.
I'm going to climb inside it later on.
That's
what the hole is for.
Promises you only get on text. So, Phil, I will hand over to you. Please put it together for the absolutely masterful Phil Nichol.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Stephen Grant. Thank you, Krater Comedy Club, for having me here. If you don't know me, my name is Phil. You can probably tell from my accent right away that I'm not from the UK, but I want you to know before I go any further that I did not vote for Donald Trump. Because I'm Canadian! Ah! Am I being too loud? I should warn you that I'm loud and I'm rude. So as long as you can deal with that, that is cool. It's a shame that we can't all be in the same room, of course. Comedy and theaters have been locked down. Just before the lockdown, I went to see that play, The Vagina Monologues, which was just a bunch of lippy cunts, if you ask me. That's where I met my girlfriend, Sissy, who has a face like a rare Chinese vase. Mingin. We do a lot of things together, a lot of shouting and a lot of screaming. And I get very angry, but I get angry at both men and women. I'm bi-furious. She bought me a book. Sissy bought me a book on how to control my temper, but before I could read it, I fucking lost it. There's a joke, okay? The book, never mind. I got a brand new bed. I got a brand new comfy memory foam mattress that was made in Italy for the American space program. It's a NASA bed. No? Okay. How about this? A lot of people say that I'm egocentric, but enough about them. What can I tell you about myself? I just got my test results back and found out I'm an epileptic. Nearly had a fit. So I invested all my money into a brand new state-of-the-art Irish technologies company. Oh, did you know? James Brown. James Brown's kids never got to sleep in. Get up! Or sit down. Get up off of that thing. They were always late for school. Take me to the bridge. But Dad, take me to the bridge. It's not near the fucking school, Dad. My dad hates what I do. He's like, son, why don't you get a job? Why don't you get a man's job? So now I'm a drag queen. Hello, is it me you're looking for? Had an audition for that new movie, Human Centipede 3. I'm hoping for a speaking role. 18 months ago, I went on a stag do to Ibiza, and the stag was horrible. He kept saying, guys, whatever happens in Ibiza stays in Ibiza, which is true because that's where his 9-month-old son Juan now lives. No? Okay. I'll tell you what, people think that I'm an offensive comedian. I don't want to be an offensive comedian. It's too fucking easy. It's too fucking easy to offend people these days. Frank Bull does it. Jimmy Carr does it. It is so goddamn easy to offend large groups of people, you know, like fundamental born-again Christians or women. And you don't want to mess with those crazy fuckers. So I've written a joke, written a song, actually, to redress the balance. The song is called You Can't Say That to Me. Here we go. All right. Well, I was riding on the tube and the chick was being rude. She got up in my face with a chavvy attitude. And as the doors were opening and I got up to leave, I called her a loser. She said, you can't say that to me because I'm a gay, black 30-something, one-legged, blind, a German midget pole dancer with a tumor. And I said, oh, sorry. La, 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 yeah. La 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 la. Now I'm standing in a shop and this jerk will jump the queue. I tapped him on the shoulder, said, what you think you're doing? He laughed and he sneered for everyone to see. I called him a prick. He said, you can't say that to me because I'm a deaf, bi, Asian, teenager, albino, Hindu dance instructor with a lisp. And I said, oh, sorry. La 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 la. Yeah, wow. La 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 la. Now I'm walking down the road and I'm coming to a crossing. I'm munchkin and I called out that I was only Dawson. When I went to cross, he didn't stop and nearly hit me. I called him a twat. He said, you can't say that to me because I'm a mute. And I said, pardon? That's the trouble with the world today. You gotta be so careful about everything you say. I should keep my mouth shut, it's the safest bet. If I've offended you already, you ain't seen nothing yet. I got home really late and my girlfriend, she was griping. And I was so annoyed I couldn't take it name of sniping. She flew into a rage and threw a slipper at me. She called me an asshole. I said, you can't say that to me, cause I'm a shut cross-eyed braces wearing pimply ginger virgin, spineless mental chap with a lamp. Cause I'm a wet-fingered, bald Italian Chinese Muslim with alopecia and really bad breath. Cause I'm a lonely single father with a pain in his hip, ex-army cross-dresser in a turban. I'm a single Scottish poet too old for TV. I'm stupid, I'm fat, and I'm ugly. And she said, yep, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Wow, wow! Krater Comedy Club! Wow!
The fabulous Phil Nichol. Phil, I've just got this idea. You've got your neighbours right now are genuinely petrified, thinking we need to call somebody. He's losing it in there.
My downstairs neighbor has heard this set a few times in the last week. He's a bass player and he plays along.
Oh, bless. Look at that. He's banging on the ceiling just in rhythm. Fabulous
Oh,
stuff.
it might have been that, yeah.
We're getting a lot of comments through. I've got to ask you, Phil, what is with the Pringles on the back wall?
It's a long, boring story, but I live with a comedian called Mike Wilmot who suffers diabetes, and I used to eat a lot of potato crisps in front of him to tease him. And he used to take the packages and he used to tape them together and put them on the wall. And at one point, there was so many, the entire wall was covered in the potato crisp packages that I decided to take them down because they were greasy on the wall, and I left the Pringles
Right. There you go.
In honor of Mike Wilmot.
So actually pretty good story. And I know Mike quite well. And more importantly, the answer you're looking for is diabetic bullying.
Hey!
Phil, it's so lovely to see you, man. And hopefully get you back on our stage in Brighton and Bath really soon, yeah?
I love you, Brighton. I love you, Stephen. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Krater Comedy Club.
Phil.
Bye.
The fabulous Phil Nichol, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, we are barreling straight on. Like I say, our combination of live and unseen pre-recorded clips. This is the absolutely fabulous Maisie Adam, filmed, I believe, at our Bath venue. So let's put our hands together and hear it for the fabulous Maisie Adam.
I'm a millennial, okay? And millennials are by fact the worst dancers currently on the planet. I can prove this to you. If you think of the generation above me, the boomer generation, they grew up in the 1970s around punk music. They were naturally rebellious in their youth, decent movers. Generation above that, my granny and grandpa, they met at a dance. Dancing was a social thing for them. My generation, unless the song tells us move by move what to do, we don't know what to do with our feet, right? Unless we've got DJ Casper telling us to slide to the left, we don't know what to... We're buggered. It clearly got so bad, right, that in 2003, a man felt it necessary to invent something called a dance mat. I don't know if you remember these, but they were essentially like a fold-out mat that you rolled out in front of your telly. On the mat were 4 arrows, up, down, left, and right. You plugged it into your telly, you picked a song, not any song, it was a choice of like 7. And even then, you always pick Cotton Eye Joe. And the song would start playing, and these arrows would appear up on screen, and all you had to do was match your foot with the arrow that appeared on screen, right? Which is fine, but it's not dancing, is it? I don't know about you guys, but I found out the hard way because I started going out in Leeds for the first time when I was 16, 17, and I thought this was an appropriate way to attract the lads. Still pulled though, didn't I? Told you I was an 8. 9, oh, stop. The final thing I'll tell you guys about myself is that I am epileptic. Yeah, mood dropped, didn't it? Mood dropped to the floor, as did I when I had my last seizure. No, I'm epileptic, right? I got diagnosed at 14 years old, but the kind of seizures I was having at 14 were not what you think of, or what I think most people think of when they hear that word. I think a lot of people hear the word seizure, and they think like flashing lights, foaming at the mouth, convulsing on the floor, that sort of thing. That wasn't me, okay? At 14, the kind of seizures I was having looked like this. Disclosure, you can laugh, right? Ready? Not now, that's just my face, right? I'm an 8. Thank you. I'll be in the bar after. I'm not an auction. Ready? This is what they look like. Once more for you there. Question. How many teenagers have you seen at the height of puberty occasionally go? So when I got diagnosed at 14, the doctors were like, oh, you've probably been epileptic since you were 10, just everyone thought you were rude. Swear to God, I remember having an argument with my dad, right, before we all knew that I was epileptic. I was having an argument with my dad, and he was going to my mum, Jill, if she rolls her eyes at me one more time, I swear to God, I will send her to her room, right? And my mum, backing me up, but also not knowing that I was epileptic, was like, Philip, go easy on it. It's a difficult time for her. She's hormonal. She's going through puberty. It's a funny few years. It's just a phase. Let her off. Meanwhile, I was in the middle giving it proper Bran Stark. Like, actually, guys, feel another one coming on. Seizure later. And it all came to a head, actually. It all came to a head like 2 years after that. I was about 16 years old. And I had my first like full-on fit, right? It was on the way to V Festival. That's how long ago we're talking, yeah. Long mate, rest in peace, V Festival. In fact, this is how long ago it was. Dappy from N-Dubs was headlining the alternative stage. Yeah. And we were on the way to the festival in the car on the motorway. We got to within like a mile of outside the site in standstill traffic, and we had the windows down, the music blaring. We were flirting with a group of lads in the car behind. Been flirting with them all the way down the motorway, just pulling faces through the window, that kind of thing, holding up signs that said silly things. I was in the passenger seat eating a muffin. Not part of my flirting technique. That'd be weird, wouldn't it, if I was like, watch this, boys. Sat in the passenger seat, and I started having this like full-on fit, apparently. Like, I don't remember it, but apparently I was rocking back and forward. My jaw was going one way, my eyes were going the other. There was muffin drooling everywhere. And my mates were like, well, we knew she was a shit dancer, but this is next level. And so, like the wonderful friends they are, they rang an ambulance, and in the meantime, they got out to try and find anyone around who was first aid trained, because my two mates in the back were useless. All they had between them was a 2-man pop-up tent and a 12-pack of Fosters. And of course, the only person they could find who was first aid trained was the lad from the car behind who I had been flirting with. So it fell to him to come to the passenger window and fish the muffin out of my mouth. And when I came round, it was like 20 minutes later. I was at the side of the road in this ambulance with the paramedics and this lad who'd helped. And I didn't know where I was, didn't know who anybody was. I couldn't remember a thing. My tongue was all swollen because I'd been biting it. So all I could say was, why does my tongue taste like muffin? And I'll never forget, this boy was so lovely to me. He was so kind. He got down to my level in the ambulance. He took me by the hands and he looked me in the eyes and he went, it's okay, you've had a fit. And I went, oh no, you're really fit. But you know what, guys, it worked out because genuinely, long story short, 8 years later, we're still together. So, hello. I'm joking. I banged him in a 2-man pop-up tent. You guys have been absolutely lovely. I've been Maisie Adam. Thank you very, very much. Cheers.
The brilliant Maisie Adams there, and there we go. We are almost at the end of the show. Our next act up, if you've seen him before, we used him on the first show, is the brilliant Chris Turner. Now is the time to start getting your comments in with suggestions you want Chris to an improvised rap on the spot. So if you want to get in early, do so now. Start putting your suggestions in the comment. Though if you are goat manification, put in 3 or 4, not 300 or 400, otherwise we will have to basically block you for spamming. Anyway, by the way, the shirt, enough people were saying, can you change off the t-shirt, the shirt? I got this out of the cupboard. Not the gay cowboy shirt that you all asked for. This is another shirt. As you can tell, this was last ironed when I was married. So this gives you an idea of just how old this is. What I like most about this, hang on, not coronavirus, is in the pocket I found £20. How about that? You know, like that special day when you look into your pocket and you find money. It's an old 20, which means I believe I've got until September to spend it. If you've got any suggestions what I should do with the money, do put them in the comment suggestion section as well, please. And you know, who knows, I might do it. I might just donate it to paypal.me/Krater or I might just cut out the middleman by just posting it to Komedia and keeping a couple of quid for myself. Anyway, look, the key thing here is we have a brilliant act to finish the show, and your suggestions are going to make all the difference. If you've seen this guy before, you are in for an absolute treat. One of our favorite headliners and coming to us live from LA, extend over the internet. Hello, Chris Turner.
Hello, Stephen. Hello, lovely Komedia audience and worldwide viewers. It's a pleasure to be back. Are we not having a chat?
Yeah, no, it is definitely worth having you back. I'm looking at your backdrop. Is there a particular reason for this? Because it looks incredibly accurate. I'm to the point where I'm beginning to question if it's actually a green screen, because I know you're a very ambitious human being.
Thank you.
You haven't elevated up through the annals of power, have you?
They fired Dr. Fauci. I'm now head of the coronavirus task force.
Amazing. Do you sit at the side and pretend to look impressed while Trump says inject bleach?
I didn't. I just applaud throughout everything he says. Guys, drink bleach. It's a definite cure.
Exactly. Please don't cut that section out of our YouTube video and put it out to other people, please. That is what's known as satire. Right, Chris, I will hand things over to you.
Oh, amazing. Hello there, lovely viewers. I'm Chris. I'm a freestyle rapper. I make up raps on the spot based on your suggestions. I'm going to do one of those for you now. So if you put suggestions of what you would want to hear a rap about in the chat, I will take those and rap about it. I'm going to pick the ones I like the most. So Pringles, definitely getting rapped about. I saw that was the topic of the stream. So we will have Pringles in there, definitely. Benna Jones said scones, cream, and jam wrap. I'm down for that. So that's a little debate we can get going. Scones, cream, and jam. Let's go down here. What do we got here? Some of these are very rude. Okay, I like. Oh gosh, some of these are very rude. Some of these are very foodish. Oh, okay, that's cool. Biscuit Barrel. I do quite enjoy sparkling bleach as a suggestion. Sparkling bleach. Very fancy. Philip says his finger went through the paper. I like that. Finger through TP. We're going to do on that one. Let's take a couple more. Elon Musk's baby name. Yes. Very good. Very topical. Let's take one more. Elon Musk's baby name. And VE Day. That's very topical. Yeah, Daniel, let's do that. VE Day. Great. Those are the suggestions. I'm going to pop them up behind me on my briefing screen so you guys can see them. This is going to be a freestyle. As I said, that is a rap made up on the spot based entirely on your suggestions. It's not prepared. It's not rehearsed. It is not made up in advance. And don't worry, you'll not be anywhere near as atrociously, embarrassingly bad as you are expecting a privately educated middle-class white boy to be. Let's drop that beat. Let's do some of this. Oh, yeah. I'm excited for this. Thank you for the suggestions, guys. Enjoy. I like my snack, not complex, but simple. Potato with the cornstarch, that's the Pringle. I always stack them, that is the plan from Procter and Gamble. Yeah, don't mix in the can, I don't want that. I don't want any little cracks. If someone picks my Pringles can in my flat and shakes it around, we need to discuss because you turned all my favorite snack into dust. I like it, I be licking all my fingers there. Why? Because the flavor is salt and vinegar. It's my favorite, so spicy, salty on my tongue. I've been craving for Pringles for so long, but my hand's too big to fit inside the cylinder. I be looking at the bottom, staring into there. I gotta tip it up, and so they're falling down the incline, but then I get it on my face. Oh yeah, the sunshine, but you gotta stay indoors. Don't go down to the southwest, Devon or Cornwall. What does this guy mean? I'm about to talk about the debate with the scones and the cream, or the scones and the creme. No one knows how to say it. If you be down in Cornwall, then you better display it. They like their cream on top it. The cream is clotted. I like to lick it there, but I got it in my pocket. That's a fact, I mean. I'm a Devonshire man, and that is why I always top my scone with that jam. Raspberry, strawberry, the violence is needless. Even if you're giving me the jam, not seedless, it doesn't even matter. It's out of reach, we can't get a solution, so I'm drinking bleach. I be a whole bottle from the end to the starting, looking like Prosecco cause it's sparkling. When it's inside, it's a shame. I get pain cause it's sparkling like champagne, and technically that would only be it if it's from France. You can drink your own bleach, but you're taking your chances. You'll probably die, probably get the poison. When I'm in the bathroom, it's annoying. Chris, it's annoying. Why? Because my TP toilet paper's one ply. Oh no, it ripped through the paper. I need to wash my fingers now, not later, but I'm running out of soap and there's no Purell, so I'm just scraping it and hope there's no smell. Get thicker ply, maybe 3 layers. The only thing is the Andrex puppy that saves you. He be running in the room in the salle de band and saying, have you come across a South African man? I say Elon from time to time, he had a baby now with his girlfriend Grimes. Claire Boucher is a real name, and when you're changing it to Grimes, how can you blame? People don't even know how you can say it. I will pronounce it. Apparently, it's Ash Archangel. I know, admittedly, it's like an X and then an A and E, a diphthong that comes next. A-12. What is wrong with their brain? Your name and your baby after an aeroplane. Come on, Elon. Pick your ideas up, buck it up. You got a normal name like Musk. Still, he's a very weird fellow, calling all the scuba divers old pedos or pedos. I don't know how he pronounces it. 75 years ago, they announced this hit. They were like, yes, we all adore it. V for victory, victory in Europe. We beat Fritz, we beat the Nazis, and so we celebrate acronym VE. So there we go. We say thanks to the guys and the gals who fought to give us all our lives, shutting down the scum. Although I prefer them, obviously, lots of people died, including some Germans. There you go. That's that. You got to remember, guys, not just us who died. You enjoyed that, Stephen?
It was just like it's VE Day, but like, yeah, some Germans died as well. I think we should be very mindful.
Look, you got to be aware it's an international audience. It's victory in Europe, but that victory came at a great cost
to very many people, and apparently we only finished paying it off a few years ago.
The bonds that we
that's right, the Second World War, and with any luck the two of us will still be alive when we pay off the coronavirus bonds that are coming as a result of what's happening in 2020. So fingers crossed. And no doubt we'll have VC Day, where we'll be in our late 80s, early 90s, sat out on the road with bunting saying, with basically this logo on a flag somewhere saying we beat the coronavirus. What do you reckon? Good chance?
Oh no, I think it's definitely happening. You've tickled me. You've tickled me pink. And thank you to the lovely audience for all their suggestions.
Thank you very much, Chris. And as ever, absolutely masterful. So good. If you enjoy Chris's stuff, you can find him pretty much all over social media. We will put a link to it as well on our Twitter, #CraterLive, and go and join him there and follow him on Instagram as well. And he's got stuff going out on Twitch. I went onto his Twitch channel. He's got a ton of things on Twitch. So, and I didn't even know about Twitch. I thought it was just for gamers, and it is just for gamers, but they've got other videos there as well. They kept it quiet from us. How did that happen? Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. We are here every Friday at 8:30, and we hope to see you again next week. The best way to make that happen, though, is go to paypal.me/CraterLive. Anyway, the final thing to say is thank you very much from behalf of all the Komedia staff who work very hard to make sure this happens as well. There's a lot of back and forth because none of us are in the same place at the same time, and also you guys who by watching it make it happen. And then the acts that we saw tonight, the brilliant Carl Donnelly, George Egg, Dinesh Nathan, Phil Nichol, Maisie Adams, and Chris Turner. I've been Stephen Grant. Have a fabulous weekend. Enjoy the sun, but don't go out if it's social distancing, etc. Have a brilliant weekend. Bye.